this morning? All right. Awesome. 10 a.m. People starting to wake up. That's fantastic. Hi, my name is Della, and I run partner marketing. One of the things that I do is really all about helping developers provide more user engagement within their applications. Let me start by asking how many people are new to developing mobile apps? Okay, how many are veterans? Awesome. A lot of people didn't raise their hands, so are some folks not developers? Maybe we have some folks on the business side. Awesome. Good, good. Quite a lot of diversity here. So I'm going to show you something really cool opportunity for you guys. And one of the things that's really interesting is that here we have an HTML5 solution. So like I said, my name is Della, and I work for a company called Telenav. We do GPS navigation. We've been in business for over 12 years. And we've been providing solutions for a variety of different partners for all of those years. And so what I wanted to talk a little bit about is why am I here? So currently we have 34 million paid subscribers to our client application. So my team works on Android, iPhone, web, and also connected cars. Here we're at the show this week showing to a variety of all of our automotive partners. Many of our employees actually are from those automotive companies, from our carrier partners. We are bundled actually on virtually every phone in the US. All of our major operating systems. We not only do we do Android and iOS, we also do Windows Phone. We're also looking into iPad solutions, which is actually very similar to heads-up displays in automotive, and I'll show you a little bit more about that in a minute. But we're also embarking on a new journey. How many people are curious, interested, have heard of HTML5? All right, so are we. And so we thought, gee, wouldn't it be great to be able to, this really was born out of our necessity to decouple the manufacturing cycle in the automotive industry with our ability to update mobile navigation systems. How many people have a PND, a personal navigation device like a Garmin or a TomTom or something like that, or maybe their wife, their sister, husband, whatever? So those have been around for a while, but one of the things that you'll notice is that if you really want a software update, you got to buy a new one. That's another 150 to 250 bucks every time you buy a new one. We thought there was a better way. And so we created, what we started out with was an opportunity to be able to create a mobile app. And we build things, like I mentioned, for the computer, for the mobile, and for the car. We do that in a variety of different ways. What we did in the mobile, the automotive space is that we wanted to see, do we have the opportunity to be able to provide updates and update a car navigation system with actually no disc to buy, no $600-700 disc to buy for the navigation system, no buying a new PND. Can we build that on the fly? And the answer is yes. HTML5 really provides that opportunity for us. And so what was born out of that, and really a lot of it had to do with the fact that because we're bundled on so many different devices, because we're working with different carriers, different OS manufacturers, for those of you who are familiar with Android, there's a huge fragmentation in the Android market, just in terms of screen size, OS implementation. How do I be able to create a solution that is a one-size-fit-all? And that's where HTML5 really helps with that opportunity. Now, one of the things that we demonstrated last year at CES was the ability to actually connect all these devices together. So now, unlike having to be on your computer, send something to your phone, copy it, paste it into your navigation service, how about a one-click opportunity? Wouldn't that be cool? So for those of you who might be building local search apps, might be building maybe restaurant apps or travel apps. These are things that people need every single day. How many people knew exactly where they were going when they got off the plane here? I sure didn't. So we have some really great opportunities here for developers as well. So like I mentioned, we've been out here for a while now, and we've been getting some really good press. So we actually launched at the show a brand new version of our client app for iPhone. We do also have Android, and we do have Windows Phone, and these are free. So we highly recommend going to your store and downloading them now. We noticed a lot of our friends in the press industry are really hyping up how, we've heard things like think of it like Google Maps on steroids. How do we be able to help people get to where they're going and be able to streamline that experience from either pre-planning on the desktop or once you've actually gotten to your place, now what do I do? So we continue to innovate in that area. And so what we like to tell folks is, hey, if we can make something simple for you to use, and we will constantly update it, and you don't have to do a darn thing, would that be interesting to you? So let's talk a little bit about navigation and direction solutions. Some people call these map solutions. They're, it's really all over the map. When I walk into partners, I talk to them about navigation solutions. They're saying, well, what's different than Google Maps? Well, for starters, we're not a map solution. This is a full-blown, voice-guided, turn-by-turn navigation system. And so what we found was that when folks were talking to, were working with the product managers, business development managers, and the marketers were working together, they realized that there were some challenges. Apple Maps, it's been a little bit of a problem. Now, granted, it's going to get better, and that's okay. Nobody's ever been fired for using Apple or Google Maps, and we're not trying to supplant them. We're just saying that we could provide you more. And so one of the biggest challenges that we have seen when we talk to developers is that, we want to engage users. Well, if you were here first thing in the morning at 9 o'clock, Harish was talking about priority number one, engage your users. Make sure you get people to love your application and keep them coming back. One of the challenges with Google Maps and Apple Maps is that they actually kick you out of your mobile app. We don't do that. We have an opportunity to give you something embeddable. And also they can be expensive. When I talk to bigger partners, the more you grow, the more success that you guys achieve over time, the more likely you're going to be hit with the bill from Google. And so what we also wanted to do is make sure that you had something that could grow with you as you learn, as you build new apps for new clients, as you're getting more users for yourselves. There's a lot of opportunity there that we just don't want to stand in your way. We want to see you grow, and we want to give you every reason to do so. Another challenge is platform dependence. Some opportunities are specific to a platform. There's a company out there that does they do a white label solution that's available to developers that's only available on Verizon. Great, Verizon is a huge part of the market, but how do I capture all of it? How do I minimize my development costs? We can help you there. Last but not least, of course, we want to talk about user safety. We see it all the time, distracted driving, and we talk about people texting while driving. Well, sure, that's, when we pass laws about that, that's great for the teenagers, but the adults aren't really texting while driving, but it doesn't mean that they're not tapping while driving. Now, how many people have heard of a company called Waze? GPS navigation solution. They have a really interesting application. We think that crowdsourcing traffic is really interesting. We do offer traffic as well, but one of the challenges is that users have to actually tap on a screen and select from a variety of different options to help describe an accident as they're driving past it. They even recommend that you take a photo. So we have a slide over here that shows what does it take to help the community really provide the right traffic data. And we think that there's a better opportunity here rather than making people say, is it in my lane? Is it in somebody else's lane? They've got a voice recorder so you could talk about details. They ask, take a pic. How many people really love rubberneckers? Yeah, that's what I thought. All right, so like I said, we have a better solution. This is what's called Scout for Apps, but it's not just for apps. What we have is an ability to give you an HTML solution. It's a whole turnkey widget that allows you to provide navigation in one click that can be embedded in any mobile app, whether it be Android, iPhone, Windows, all works. And so what you can see here is the opportunity to actually embed it. It also supports mobile web, of course. So if you're building out websites or mobile web, then you can also help customers get to where they're going just in a single click. it will open up just a new browser window. You're still staying within the browser application, and you can always go back to your back to the space where you're going, where your app is, before, during, and after the drive. It's an ability for customers to continue being engaged with your application without having to close out a window, go back, go find which app is open, go reopen that app. So this really helps with your user engagement. So you can see here that it talks a little bit, shows a little bit about how you can have a single button in there, and it's very easy to code a whole database worth of locations. All you really need is a location. That's all you need. We have a built-in geocoder into the widget, and so you could send us coordinates. We'll geocode that for you. We'll display up at the top the name of the place, give you the address there, give you the ETA. ETA is based on a variety of factors, mostly things like speed limit. It's not as the crow flies, it's actually how the route is being drawn. You have an opportunity to show off turn-by-turn lists, as well as the navigation, and it's all voice guided. So what's really great about it is that I could turn it on, press that one button, put it on the passenger seat, and I'm gone. I don't have to do anything. So there's a lot of really interesting things that you can do with this. We wanted to make it simple. We know that mobile development time is really precious. And so we wanted to spare you as much pain and suffering as possible. And so this is literally as little as one line of code. Depends on how you want to customize it. There's a couple of different options in there, and whether you wanted to actually run it within a web or run it in web view, which is embeddable view, or if you wanted to open up a browser. There's a variety of other things that you can do with this as well. But we even have copy and paste code on the site. Just copy and paste. There's some specifics that help with the specific operating systems, and then that will help provide a great seamless experience regardless of the device that your customers are using. So not only does it work for the mobile, but it also works on the web. A lot of folks who especially are outsourced, maybe they've got a variety of different clients that they're helping to build websites for, and mobile websites might be part of the package, a mobile app might be part of the package. If that's part of your business, we can help you there too. All of this is automatic. Again, we wanted to make this super simple for you and virtually no coding required. So we have an automatic send to phone feature. What happens is that on the back end, we actually detect whether the user is clicking a button on a website or a mobile website. We know whether you're on a device or not. And so if you are actually on the desktop, we provide a full packaged widget to be able to send that pre-populated destination to your phone in literally just one click. So all you have to do is just type in the phone number. It also works with emails or SMS. Some people have asked me, hey, is there any cost to use SMS? I know carriers have some costs to be able to use that. No, we take that. We'll do it for you. No problem. And so then what you could do is either get an email or an SMS on your phone, and again, one click and go. It automatically asks, hey, can I check your current location, and we will generate that route for you. So whenever you're ready to go, wherever you're from, not a problem. We don't have to pre-populate. Now what happens today in a lot of other applications is that if you're on the desktop, you will have an opportunity to type in the address, where you're from, where you to. Well, if I'm on the road, I don't know. Let's say I wanted to go visit a restaurant. I would love to have that easily accessible on my phone, but what I don't want to do is have to do a lot of typing or thinking about it. What will happen is, hey, if I type I'm at my house, I type, okay, I want the route from my home. That's a pre-populated route. Yeah, great, awesome. But what if I'm not at home? What if I'm out running errands? I have no idea where I am, and I still want to get to the restaurant. Not a problem. We take care of that for you. So another question I get asked a lot when I do hackathons, I've done other speaking sessions, at a lot of it is at either carriers or through the OS manufacturers. How do I use this? What do I use it for? There's a ton of different use cases. And we're here to help you. If you have any questions along the way, hey, I'm building a new app, I'm not sure exactly, I'm thinking about maybe social, I'm thinking maybe about local search, and that's the most obvious thing, right? So local search, whether it be restaurants, whether it be service repair shops, whether it be even just a store locator. Let's say, for instance, that you're building a website for the local bookshop. Not a problem. We can help you out. Just stick one line of code in there, and then you can get a Scout Drive button on that location, and users can actually drive to your restaurant, bookstore, wherever, from wherever they are. A lot of folks are trying to get into social. Social is one of the biggest categories between gaming and social. Those are the two biggest categories on mobile. So let's say I want to build something social. Great, no problem. We can help you out. We even have some really cool stuff coming down the pipeline too for you with regards to additional social features. But for instance, let's say, you know, like we said, we already have ability to send any single link or a Scout Drive button to anybody. There's a variety of features that we could do there. If you have people who are checking in somewhere or going somewhere, anytime there is an address, doesn't matter what it is. It could be a local attraction, it could be travel, it could be, let's say they're going shopping for a new house, renting apartments. Or college doesn't need apartment rental opportunities to be able to go see where free apartments are. There's a lot of ideas that can happen there. Or let's say you want to go to the movies. Okay, great. We can help you there. So if you want to check it out, you can check it out today yourself. We have our website, which is scout.me. There is a mobile version of that. So whether you are on your device or whether you are on the desktop, we can help you out there. There's also a couple of cool iOS apps out there, different use cases. The local search opportunity is within Around Me and Avantar's Yellow Pages. So I know that there's a lot of Yellow Pages out there. This is the Avantar Yellow Pages. They have it in their Yellow Pages, their Yellow and White Pages. They have Ariel and a few other applications out there, but all of their applications have Scout for Apps built into it. And a really cool idea, and just something to throw out there, is this thing called Life 360. They're a family planner and locator. What they do basically is they keep tabs, everybody signs up in their family. And then what you can do is you can find out where people are at any given moment. Some people call it the stalker app. At least me and my husband do. But what's cool about it is, let's say, for instance, that your kids are going to soccer practice after school. And let's say your business meeting runs late. Well, you know, the kids can go stop at the ice cream shop and wait there afterwards, and you can drive straight to them from Life 360. Just some really cool ideas how to get to not only places, but get to each other. So that's what's so great about today's technology and being able to provide services using the GPS and notifications and a variety of other things. But let's say, for instance, you're new to code. Not a problem. How about, instead of one line of code, how about no lines of code? So what we offer is a Scout Drive button. It is a code generator. So literally all you have to do is to type in your business name and your address, and what it will do is it will spit out for you your very own Drive button. You can copy and paste that code. You can share it. There are quick links to be able to pin it, to tweet it, to Facebook it, to email it. There's a variety of different ways that you could use these things. And so what we've done is we've gone out to a ton of restaurants and said, hey, put this on your website. But I tell you, you know, as we've been doing this, we find that there's a ton of restaurants out there that don't even have a website. So if you guys are looking for customers, restaurant business might not be a bad one. Every restaurant needs to be able to display, what is the ambiance? What is the menu? What are their hours? How do I get a reservation? Who do I call? Well, why not delight customers before they even walk in the door? That's a great way to do it. So, how do we integrate the Scout API? Get started, just go at developer.telenav.com. Then you could do a variety of other things. You could create a URL for your own Scout button, whether it be a single button or the Scout Drive button. Both of those opportunities are there for you. There's special code samples there for you. There are a ton of different examples there. They show you screenshots, and I'll show you little screenshots here as well. So works on iOS, Android, Windows, certainly any mobile, whether it be mobile optimized or not, any website will work. You don't have to have a mobile optimized website for us to be able to detect whether it's coming from a mobile device or not, so don't worry about that. We'll take care of it for you. So some code samples. Everybody loves code samples, makes it simple. So what you can see here is 3 different options. Now, originally, we had some folks send us over some coordinates. Yeah, we can do the coordinates for you, and we'll even generate the route for you. But what's really helpful here, and our best practice, is to be able to identify both the name of the location as well as the address. Now, in some cases, like Life 360, you're trying to get to another person, so what they do is they actually pass the other user's name, the destination person's name in there. So whether that be, and we do have fuzzy match, so you could do a specific intersection, that's fine. We could do specific points of interest, whether it be an attraction, whether it be a restaurant, you know, anything there, a hotel, all of that stuff is available to you. One of the things that number one question I get is, why isn't it working? Well, usually it's because it's not URI encoded. Now, how many people know what URI encoding means? A lot of you, but not everybody. All right, so I'll just talk a little bit about that. The web understands only a certain subset of the characters that are available on your keyboard. So what happens is that we need to understand exactly what you're trying to do. So if you've ever seen things like some really crazy code in a URL, like these percentage signs, basically what they're doing is they're helping to define by a certain standard, the World Wide Web standard, to be able to identify what those extra characters are. And so here's how you can actually do that. There's a couple of URI encoding tools on the internet, super simple. I went ahead and put a couple of them here, so that way you can use those. That's how you get that up and running real quick. Now, what does the code look like? What are your inputs and outputs? So we do use tokens, and the reason why we use tokens is we want to make sure that you are not being hacked. We want you have an opportunity to, if you should anybody need to, never been used actually, but if you're having some problems with your code, we could always regenerate your token for you. You can do that yourself, certainly on our website. We offer, of course, the address, the lat long if you have it. You don't need the lat long if you don't have it. You could give us an address as well. So, and of course the name. So super simple, nothing crazy. All right, so how do I get embedded navigation? This is what's called web view, also known as embedded. And so really what you need is a user agent string. And so there are some code samples on our website that help this. I will also, when I get back, what I'll do is I'll post a link to the slide share from our Twitter and also our blog. So that way folks can actually see this, either whether it be that way, come see us at developer.telenav.com, so you don't have to write all this stuff down. And then you could do a variety of other things. So let's say, for instance, that your app only runs in a portrait, not a landscape mode. We can help you out there. Variety of other things that you can do with it as well. So yeah, try it out. There are some great resources out there as you're learning to figure out, okay, well, how do I make my app more relevant? Help people get places. You know, people, you know, we have seen such overwhelming input from users of those applications, like Around Me, like the Yellow Pages and Life 360, and a ton of individual websites as well have implemented the Scout Drive button, and in some cases, the Scout API. And so there you go. Do you have any questions? Yes, in back. Okay. It maintains a session as long as that, so you got a couple of parameters you need to keep in mind to maintain the session. Because this is HTML, of course, it needs connectivity, so you're going to need, of course, the geolocation services on. So if you have that on, you have that specific browser window open on, then that should be fine. That will work for you. What it does here, let me show you a screen. So for instance, this last screen over here. So yeah, so that comes through as soon as somebody clicks that, because through web browser, you have to actually, a user has to actually initiate a route, and that's when we can send that back. Okay, so there is a referral URL. What we do have today is that we have an arrival screen that allows them to either download the full Scout app, and we do actually have on our website as well a way to use a URL scheme to actually invoke the client as well, so a client app. So there's a couple of different options that you have there. Yes, right here in the front.
Two real quick questions.
Sure.
One, how are you monetizing this? It's not going to be free, I'm pretty sure.
Free. Free. Did I mention free? Oh, shoot, I didn't mention free. Yeah, no, it's free. Okay. In terms of monetization, we're looking for distribution. This is a Scout branded navigation session. So for us, it's really about getting the word out there. We have been white labeling AT&T Navigator, Sprint Navigator. Those are all our apps. And so we thought it was high time that we start letting people know how awesome Telenav is and what we have available.
Question two. I live in the north, like far north, and there are lots of places where there's no cell phone coverage or any kind of data. So what do we do in those cases?
Yep. So what I would do in that case is I would use a URL scheme. We have something called Telenav Connect, and what that does is that offers the ability to connect to our client application. We have a feature in that app called Always There. And so what Always There does is it actually downloads maps for a particular region, whether it be western, northern, or whatever. And so while you may, if you're out of coverage, you may lose traffic information, you will still be guided along the route that whole way. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You're welcome. Another question back here.
Are you able to have multiple locations?
Multiple locations. Oh, so multiple pins along the way.
Yes.
No, what we have seen people do is they code the front end of the app to be sequential. We don't have multi-pin routing. That's something that's really difficult and really expensive to do. I get that question a lot, and what's interesting is that not even, Google doesn't even offer that. So, yeah.
So I had a couple of questions, actually.
Great.
Is there a walking mode on this, or is it just driving?
It's meant for driving. However, it's fairly accurate within a couple of blocks, and so, it can get you in that right direction.
Okay. And then to make sure I understand how this is implemented correctly, you basically add the code to an app you're working on, and then it launches the Scout app within your app?
Yep.
Okay, so does the customer have to have the Scout app also on their phone?
No,
Okay.
That's what's great about it. There's nothing to download. There's nothing to install for your users. So unlike a lot of solutions out there that uses the URI scheme, one of the drawbacks of using a client scheme to be able to launch an application, of course, is that they have to have it.
Okay, so that's awesome. And then I missed a little what you were saying on the person-to-person location, if like you have one person here, another person here, and you want to meet or something.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. So a couple of different ways you could do it. We're actually beta testing right now is a feature called Drive with Friends. And so what any new developers now will be part of that beta. Feel free to test it out. It's on scout.me. And the cool thing is that you can actually invite friends to the trip, see them on the map, and get ETAs of how far away they are, or whether they've already arrived, or whether they haven't even left yet.
Okay, and it does it by like exact GPS coordinates or an address, or?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So basically, what it does is it's understanding what your ETA towards a destination is. So, for instance, and I wish I had a projector of my phone, otherwise I'd show you right here. But what's really cool about it is that you can use your Facebook login, and you'll have your avatar and your name pre-populated on there. You can invite others, and anybody else who has that URL link, if they have it turned on, they could see you, they expose where they are and how close they are to getting towards that destination. Let me give you a use case example. So let's say you're at work and you've got some friends that you want to meet up for lunch. Well, how do you know when to hold the table, whether everybody's gotten there, who's left, who wants to be the first one to be there? I'll take my time. So what's great is that you can keep tabs on this, and when everybody has already left, wait for other people to leave. Hey, no problem. I know the shortcut over there. I'll go on over there. I know where everybody is, what their ETA is, or whether they've already arrived. So there's a lot of really great use cases for something like this, and we are happy to have developers help us test this and provide their future wishes and whatever else they like.
So if you don't know where you are, like if you say, well, I'm over here in town and you're over there and you're trying to figure it out, and you can apply it that way? And
you can. It's really meant, so it's a little bit different than a company called Glimpse. Glimpse, what they do is they do location sharing based on where you currently are. We're wrestling with, we're very big on privacy and want to make sure that we're maintaining users' privacy as they want. And so what we're starting out with is being able to go basically find out where they are towards a destination. So what would have to happen is that both people have that web browser open. If they have that web browser open and they've turned on Drive with Friends, then they'll be able to see where they are on a map as well as a list view of ETAs.
Okay, thank you. And the other one was Glimpse, you said?
Yeah, Glimpse, G-L-Y-M-P-S-E. We're actually talking to them right now about doing some work together. So
thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Anybody else? Yes, back here. Mm-hmm. Yes, I haven't had too many people test it. I would love more input. I am at developer@telenav.com. If you try some of this stuff and you're having some challenges with it, I think it was Tigsy that was giving us a little bit of a challenge, but let us know. We'll work through it. There's also some feedback on our blog. Or sorry, not on our blog, on our customer support forums. And so some folks have actually played around with it and figured out workarounds whenever there had been a challenge. Any other questions?
I'm sorry, I think we'll have
Sure.
to, time's up, so I think we'll have to move on to the
No
next
problem.
session.
So one last thing I want to mention is that if you haven't gotten it on your way in, we have, because we love driving, we have tire gauges for you. If you want a quick and easy way to remember developer.telenav.com, there's some on either side. So looking forward to seeing you on the road. Thank you.